Okay, I want to say hey to everybody. This is we going back in. We going back in, folks. This is the Monday Motivational Power Talk. It's been a while since I've done this podcast. This podcast, I've been doing it for I would say probably over the past 8 years. Um, so this is it. This is our Monday Motivational Power Talk. Thank you guys for stopping through. Hope everything is going well. And let me go ahead and get started. You guys ready to go on in? Let's go. If it's going to be, it's up to me to fulfill my dreams and possibilities with dedication and motivation to inspire thousands from all nations. When times are tough and breaks you down, just smile with toughness and rebuild from the ground. During tough times, adversity is a lot. Just remember, time flies, but you are the pilot. All right. Want to say hello. We got my sister-in-law for life, Diane Rosier. Thank you for coming in. How you doing, Sherilyn Martin? Thank you for joining. Hope everything is going well with you guys. I want to have a talk to you. This is our Monday Motivational Power Talk. And like I said, I've been doing this for about 8 years, but I have not been doing this lately. I just not had the right tools that I wanted to work with, and I went through so many different streaming old companies, and I just didn't like it. And he gave me Zoom. I didn't like Zoom either. So I think I found one that I enjoyed, and you guys are going to enjoy the quality of this service. So I'm going to go on in and talk about the our motivational power talk tonight. And what I want to talk to you guys tonight on our Monday Motivation Power Talk is your planning. I kind of covered this before, about a week or maybe 2 weeks ago, about what are your next steps. And we talk about the economy, we talk about this pandemic, and we talk about what the next steps are when it comes to what people want to do with their business, with their lives. But you individually, what are your next steps? Don't worry about, but I won't say don't worry about it, but don't focus and put a lot of emphasis on what America is going to do. See, this is the problem, folks. This is where a lot of people go wrong in their personal lives when it comes to finances, their business, their next steps, their careers, their jobs, their businesses. They always sit back and want to know what the president is going to do, what Congress is going to do, what America is going to do. You sit back and say, okay, this is what they plan. They want to do plan phase of businesses to reopen. Okay, let's see how this is going to work out. No. Why don't you see how you're going to work out? Okay, put a lot of emphasis in your own business. Listen, folks, you have to participate in your own rescue. And this is not an exact stat, but I think I'm pretty close when I say this. 78% of the American working class was living paycheck to paycheck. 78% living paycheck to paycheck. And guess what? During the pandemic, you probably got about almost 80% of the population out of work. I've seen businesses close down. I've seen good businesses close down. I went to go get alkaline water just the other day to a store over not far from me, over down here in Florida, and they were gutted out. They were gone. They had a COVID-19 post on there, and they were like out of business. I said, wow, this place was very, very good place of business. I went here to get my alkaline water. You get your fresh produce from there, and they were gone. The whole place was gutted out. When I say gutted out, I'm not talking about everything moved from the shelves. Everything was moved from the shelves, and the shelves was also moved. Gone. I mean, you could like park 20 SUVs in this place. That's how empty it was. It was gutted out, folks. And I went to an Indian restaurant just yesterday, downtown St. Petersburg, Florida, and that restaurant was gone. I said, what in the world? People, listen, folks. Not only that people are living paycheck to paycheck, you having businesses. There are businesses that are also operating paycheck to paycheck. So if that business misses a couple of 2, 3, 4 months of business, that business is out of business. Right? So here's what you got to understand. Here's what you got to keep in your mind here. Don't focus on what America is going to do. Focus on what you're going to do. Because at the end of the day, America is going to be America. Guess what? Your job is going to be your job, with or without you. And I'm going to tell you right now, your job is currently looking for ways to save money post the pandemic. And here's another thing you got to understand too, folks. Once everything gets free, once America opens back up again, we don't know when that is going to be. The economy is still going to be on a down spiral. You're still going to be looking at another year, close to a year and a half, before the economy can get back on a rise again. When I say get back on a rise, I'm not talking about ride up there. I'm talking about get back to incline to the rise, an incline. So that means it's not like the pandemic over, here's the pandemic. Then all of a sudden, here's the economy. No, 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 no. The economy is going to stay here for a good while. And then it's going to start to do this. If they do it right, if the country is doing the things that they're supposed to be doing the right way, it's going to come up. But that is going to be a painful increase, folks. People are going to be out of jobs still. I'm going to tell you, folks, most of these jobs are not bringing back the same people when this pandemic is over, when they go back to business again. I'm telling you right now, if it's two reasons why they're not going to bring these people back. One reason is they're not going to be able to afford to bring everybody back. And the second reason is they're already planning right now to do business without probably 50% of the employees they had before the pandemic. They're strategizing. They're putting together strategic plans to how they're going to change their business model. If they're going to change their business model so that it can fit to not having so many people at work where they have to pay all these people. Because guess what? If they could save 50% of their labor costs and this pandemic happens again, their vow to themselves is to not be in this situation of a pandemic again, if this ever happens again. So you got to understand that, folks, now. And as I mentioned this to you, this is what you got to understand, folks. This is what you got to understand. Let me see something. I just got, hold on a second. All right, let me close that out. Now, as I say this, their job, their goal, their mindset is already in the mode of, okay, if this pandemic happened again, we would not get caught with our pants down. So guess what they're doing? They're making strategic plans. Are you making a strategic plan, or are you wasting your time posting nonsense on social media? Are you wasting your time complaining about the economy or the pandemic? So you see what I'm saying? Are you wasting your time debating against who and what celebrity is sleeping with who? What celebrity? Have you seen Housewives? Have you seen this? If that's what you're wasting your time on, I can almost guarantee you right now. I can almost and it don't matter if you're a government worker or not. That don't mean nothing. See, there's no such thing as job security anymore. And I can tell you, folks, if you're wasting your time with a whole bunch of bull crap, I can almost tell you, I can almost promise you that you're going to face your own personal recession. As a matter of fact, you're going to face your own personal depression. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is information that I'm just sharing with you because I see it. If you don't see it, you can borrow my eyes. Let me put my eyes in your head. But you got to give them back because I want mine back because I see almost everything. And you got to also be able to hear what people are not saying to you. How many of you have been on a job and your job is about to lose a contract, or you don't know the state of your job? Your job might be going out of business. Your job might be losing a contract to a client, and your job is not giving you 100% of the information you need to know when you guys have these business meetings. How many of you have been in that situation? Say I. You working on a job, and all of you know your job just lost a contract with a government contract, but your job is not telling you the state of your employment at the time. They're telling you we don't have anything right now. When we get new information, we'll tell you. How many of you guys have been in that situation? Mary said, I. Mary Thomas has been in that situation, right? Mary Thomas has been in that situation. But here is the key, folks. Here is the key. Here's what you got to say. Here's what you got to understand. This is important. Check this out. Check this out. Yep, Lynn Martin, she says I. Here's what you got to understand, people. Once this pandemic is over, one thing you got to understand, these companies are not going to just tell you you're not coming back. They're going to bring you all back. But when they bring you all back, you best to believe the first round of layoff is happening. They're going to tell you the economy messed us up. We was out of business. We just getting back started. If anything comes up in the future, we'll let you know. They're going to make it sound so like they on your side. But at the same time, they're sorry for letting you go at the same time. Folks, this is what you got to understand. They didn't plan this when you come back to work. They planned it now. They planned it in March. They planned it in April. Did you guys know that there were a whole lot of congressmen, they took their money out of the stock market just before the pandemic has been announced and happened, just before the shutdown happened? They took their money out of the stock market. Why did they do that? Did you know that Dr. Fauci had predicted this was going to be a pandemic back in 2017? How did he know that? Did you know that Bill Gates has also predicted this? He said we're not going to be prepared for a pandemic. He said this back in, I think, 2015. How did he know that? You see, strategic plans. Things are planned, folks. These are not situations where things come around and you just go, oh my God, we just in a pandemic. Folks, these things are planned. The company you work for is planning how not to be in the same situation again if another pandemic were to go down in the future. We call it in business, caught with your pants down. They working on ways so they won't be caught with their pants down. You need to do the same thing. Listen to me, folks. If you're not doing the same thing for your personal life, for your family, then that is an obvious sign of a person with no value. They don't get mad that I said that. I'm telling you the God honest truth. If you're not planning your life post the pandemic or pre-pandemic or during the pandemic, if you're not planning, making strategic plans for your life while corporate America is making those plans, if you're not doing it for yourself, then you have no value. And I'm going to tell you why you don't have no value. You have no value because the company you work for is going to see that you don't have any value, and they're going to lay you off once the pandemic is over. And I'm going to tell you something right now. There are going to be people who want to come and say, damn, Jay said this. As soon as we came back, within the next week or two, they came to us, told us we being laid off, as if they don't have no more money. They knew they don't have them. They already know that situation right now. The CEO's job, listen, folks, the CEO's job is to make money for the company. How? By any means necessary. That is that CEO's job. By any means necessary to make money for that company. Okay? If that company is traded on Wall Street wants to see an increase. The people who own shares in that company, they want to see an increase in that company's bottom line, not profits. Not revenue, but bottom line. See, there's a difference between revenue and profits. You can increase your revenue, but you don't make no profits. Why is that happening? You increase your revenue because as your revenue increase, your expenses also increase. And what is one of the biggest expenses to a company? Paying the employees. Come on, folks. So if the company is paying expenses, paying the employees, right? Guess what happens when that company lay off that many employees, lay off any employee? A company that lays off an employee, their stock goes up on Wall Street. Why does that happen? It's because Wall Street don't care how their stock went up. They're not going to question them and say, "Did you lay off 40 people to get your to get your profits up? Did you do that?" They don't care. All Wall Street sees is ups and downs. They see bottom lines. That's it. If your bottom lines go up, they don't care how you got it up. That's money in the bank for them. If they see your profit, if they see that your bottom line went down, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get rid of you. I'm like, oh no, we need to sell these. We need to sell these shares. Get out of here. I'm losing money. But as long as your bottom line goes up, they don't care how it went up. Look, if you went to anybody else and asked to borrow the money, and you borrow the money, and that money comes in, borrowed money, and it comes in, and it shows that your bottom line went up because you borrowed the money, guess what? That's what they care about. Bottom line. If you got to lay off 100 people in your company in order for your profit to go up, guess what? On Wall Street, that's the bottom line. The bottom line goes up. Wall Street, your stock goes higher on Wall Street, is making shareholders more money. Now, if companies are already doing this, folks, okay, companies are already doing this. And remember, heavy layoffs always happen during recessions. Always happens during recessions. And we are currently in a recession right now. And just because the pandemic may be over, that doesn't mean the recession is over. The recession is going to still last about another year and a half, probably about 18 months. Still going to be in a recession. So what are you doing, folks? What are you doing to prepare yourself so that if this situation do not occur again in your personal life? The average household living paycheck to paycheck, that's like 78% of the working class. Yeah. And 3% of that 3% of that 78%, only 3% of them are making six figures. Can you imagine having debt of a person who's making six figures? They probably live in a $500,000 house already. They got a car note with that. Because of their salary, they're not going to buy a Nissan Sentra. They want to buy a Mercedes or a Bentley with that kind of money. And guess what happens when you go into a recession and you can't go to work? You ain't making your money. And not alone, you got kids, you got mortgage, insurance, then you got property insurance on the house. They can set you up, folks. Now you're going to have to foreclose or sell the house. You're going to have to return the car. Then somebody else is going to come and buy it for a cheap price. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. So I'm asking you guys, man, please take your life more serious. And I'm not saying you can't have a good time, but right now, this is not a time to be having a good time. This is not a time to be hanging out at the swimming pool, smoking weed and all this bullshit. This is about the time for you to get your shit together. Get on it. TikTok. Stop playing around out here. This is not a game, man. Grow up. Take some responsibility, especially if you got kids. You got your kids out here, you struggling, your kids ain't eat, but you got time to go out and smoke weed and hang out with your pals. I'm just saying, I'm not chastising anybody. I'm just telling you to take a look at your life right now. Take a look at the situations right now. Nobody's want to hire you right now. They don't even want the people they got working for them. They're going to lay them off as soon as they get back to working. So when are you going to learn to be an entrepreneur? When are you going to start reading books on entrepreneurship? When are you going to start doing your own diligence? Bring sense, folks. If this makes sense to you, put that in the comments. Say, this makes sense. Just put it in the comments. I'm just trying to help you. Hope you guys ain't angry with me. I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to share the information the way it is. And you guys know me. You guys have been following me for years. You know, I've been doing this since 2000. 2008 now. What's that? 12 years I've been doing this. And those of you who have been following me ever since then, you guys know I don't sugarcoat nothing. I give it to you. I don't know how to sugarcoat. That is not a talent of mine. I'm sorry. I am not the kind that can sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell you exactly the way it's going to come. That's raw. I mean, that's raw, right? So do something in your personal life so that you won't be put in this situation again. And think about, and here's another thing you got to think about, folks. Here's another thing you got to think about. Ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question. If what I'm doing today, if what I'm doing today determines how much I make tomorrow, how much money will I make? You guys get that question? I'm going to repeat that question. If what I'm doing today determines how much I make tomorrow, how much money will I make? I hope you guys, that's how serious this is, folks. This is what you got to, these are the type of questions I ask myself. These are hard questions. I'm going to repeat this question again. If what I'm doing today determines how much money I make tomorrow, how much money do I make? That's heavy, right? The government is not playing. Your job is not playing. Your employer is not playing. I don't know who's watching this, who's watching right now. But you might be one, you possibly could be one of the ones that they planning on letting go when this pandemic is over. Because guess what? When the pandemic is over, the recession is still going to be there. The recession is still going to be, and they're going to sit there and tell you, I'm so sorry. We have anything, this thing really knocked us in a bad spot. That's exactly what they're going to say. This pandemic really knocked us in a bad spot. That's their excuse. That's the excuse they're going to give you to lay you off. And you hearing it from a person who's been laid off in 2012, who've been laid off the day after my mom passed away. I know that feeling. I understand corporate. I know what they're doing. Well, I'm a business owner now myself. I have made strategic plans. So after the pandemic, once we are free, I get on a plane to Egypt to do a presentation before 10 royal families over in Egypt to build my luxury city, my smart city, a city that's going to connect Egypt, Libya, and Greece over the Mediterranean Sea. Trillions of dollars, folks. I made my adjustments. You got to make yours. You have to make a difference. Your community, your family is dependent on you. See, there's a thing called the butterfly effect. What you do or do not do today will affect generations 100 plus years after you. See, so you got to ask yourself this question. You're the author of your life. Will generations after you be inspired by your story, or will they be despised by your story? I hope you guys understand that. So take the time, folks. Start planning out your life right now. If you haven't already, you need to be doing it as soon as I get off this podcast. Planning out your life. This has been helpful, folks. Please put this in the comments and say this is helpful. Also, I'd like for you to share this video. If it does not help you, I'm sure it will help those that you know. Okay? And we'll come back again next Monday. This is our Monday Motivational Power Talk. I am back online with that broadcast. And hope to talk to you soon. I'll be going live during the daytime tomorrow as well, during the week. You'll see me go live. But this right here is strictly about motivational speaking, business ethics and things like that, personal development. That's what this is all about. Anything else you'll see, we'll be talking about saving your life about through this war on vaccines and stuff like that. So with that being said, folks, I want you to do me one last huge favor, and that is to sing like no one can hear you, dance like no one can see you, love like you've never been hurt, and live like it's heaven on earth. I'm Jay Hunter Lee. I love you, and the world needs you. So wash your hands, wash your ass. Peace and blessings, folks. Have a great day.